Toyota recommends that the vehicle trailer speed limit is 65 miles per hour on flat, straight, dry road. Do not exceed this limit, the posted towing speed limit, or the speed limit for your trailer as set forth in your trailer owner's manual, whichever is low. Some people may say, well, your tires limit your speed, and most trailer tires are limited to a maximum speed rating of 65 miles per hour. Well, that's sort of true and sort of not true. There's a number of people like myself that use the Goodyear Endurance tires. The Goodyear Endurance tires are rated up to 87 miles per hour, and there's a number of people that use light truck tires on their travel trailers, and that's reasonable too. And those, of course, frequently rated above 100 miles per hour even. And so really, the tire rating isn't necessarily the limiting factor for it either. Some people will say, well, there's a number of places in the country where the maximum speed for posted on the highway is 65 miles per hour, and that's why you should limit it to 65, or you should limit it to the speed limit in general, whatever the speed limit is. Well, that can be problematic too. It can be problematic, let's say, if, for example, you're in some of the western United States where the speed limit is frequently 80 or sometimes even 85 miles per hour. I don't know that I feel comfortable with my travel trailer at that speed. If something were to happen, you know, the force for energy is mass times speed squared, and that speed squared matters a lot in those instances. And so going from, let's say, 75 all the way up to 85, or from 65 all the way up to 85 is pretty significant when you're talking about the amount of energy that's going to be resulting if there's some sort of a collision or an accident. So I don't know that that's the best answer either. So how do we come up with what the best answer is? Well, I think the best answer is simply, when you tow, is to find out what practically works. And the truth of the matter is, and I'm going to explain to you, it's whatever the semi-trailers are traveling at for a general speed. No, I don't mean the guy that's blowing by you at 85 in his semi-tractor trailer. I mean all the guys who are hanging out in the right lane, who are cruising along. What are they cruising at? Because that's going to tell you really what the safe conditions are at that point in time. Now, someone may say, well, I don't care if the semi-tractor trailers are traveling 75. I'm going to travel 65 because I know I'm safer. No, you're not. Well, first of all, frequently, you know, if they're a tractor trailer, they've got that big trailer behind them, and it's like a big wind sail. So if there's a heavy crosswind, something that's making them feel unstable, or a headwind that's making them feel like they're traveling unstable or irregular, they're going to adjust to that speed. And so what you'll find is, let's say the posted speed limit is 70 miles per hour. You may find that they're all doing 72 pretty comfortably, and very few of them are actually passing or dragging behind that. You may find that they're all doing 75 comfortably on a really nice day, or you may find that they're all doing 68 if there's a bit of a crosswind happening, or if there's a big headwind or a big diagonal wind, you may find that they're all doing 60 to 65. That's with, you know, maybe in the rain, that's what's going on. That's really the safest speed for you and your travel trailer. Now, if you're saying, hey, why isn't it safer if I slow down to 65, even if they're all doing 72? There's several reasons for it. The obvious answer, the ones people will give you, is, hey, you're creating a bit of a traffic jam at that point. People are zooming around you and you're causing problems. But there's a more practical component to just controlling your travel trailer that occurs at that speed. As a semi-trailer passes you, and it doesn't even have to be a semi-tractor trailer. It can be a van, it can be an HD truck, something of some significant size. It can be another RV. What happens is, as they pass you, that vehicle is creating force. It's moving air in front of it, and it's more of a block shape than it is any sort of aerodynamic shape. So it's creating a lot of turbulence around the front. And as that trailer passes you, and I'm talking about overtaking you. I'm not talking about coming the opposite direction. As it overtakes you, there's a push against your trailer, which is acting like a wind sail. And as it pushes against your trailer, you'll feel that, and you'll feel that push. And then as it gets a little bit past that, because it's going faster than you, air moving faster over that surface creates what's called the Bernoulli effect. The Bernoulli effect is faster moving air creates a draft, and that's similar to the way we get lift in airplanes, only this time the draft or the lift is occurring side to side as opposed to lifting you up from the ground. But the draft then occurs between you and the passing vehicle, and so initially there's a push to you away, and then there's a draw to you, and you'll feel this. And if, heaven forbid, if you're driving a travel trailer that's pretty big for your rig and you don't have a weight distribution hitch, this is where you could end up with the tail wagging the dog and end up with a big problem on the highway. This can become especially devastating with this if there's, let's say, a crosswind. For example, if there's a big southerly wind coming off the Gulf Coast and you're driving on I-10 heading eastward, what will happen is you're constantly dealing with, let's say, a 20 or 30 mile per hour wind coming as a crosswind on your driver's side. And then as you get passed by, let's say, a semi, because they're doing 72 and you're doing 65 to be safe, initially you're going to feel a pretty heavy push against the travel trailer as they pass because you've got this crosswind. But then there's going to be a draw. And in between, as it exits, then there's going to be this huge push again from that wind reoccurring. And so it's this push, greater push, draw, push. This is all occurring all at one time, and that serves to destabilize your vehicle. Now, let's suppose that all the tractor trailers are traveling at 72 miles per hour and the posted speed limit's 70, and you're traveling at 72. Well, as you're traveling at the same speed, that Bernoulli effect isn't there, and so you're not getting that draw. So the other reason this is the safest speed is because let's suppose you have somebody who's going a couple miles per hour under you and you're going to overtake them and they happen to be a semi-tractor trailer. Well, guess what? The semi-tractor trailers, they're also driving with this big sail, this big trailer behind them, and you, as this relatively big rig going by them, also create that Bernoulli effect. And so they get the same thing. And so if their trailer isn't fully loaded, if it's relatively light, you can create a pretty significant draw on them. And they have to stabilize their rig against the wind forces that you're creating. So keep this in mind, that traveling the same speed when you're a relatively big rig, you're a truck with a travel trailer in tow, traveling the same speed that the semi-tractor trailers are traveling, that's going to be your safest speed of travel. Now, where that may fall apart is when you get into the western United States. If the speed limit's 80 or 85, and I rarely see the tractor trailers going that fast, I don't think you should necessarily be traveling that fast either. And when I get out in those parts of Texas and Utah where the speed limit is 85 miles per hour, believe me, I'm in the right lane. I'm maxing out at 75, just like most of the tractor trailers are.